Welcome to the Cafe Entree Report. I am your host, Cafe Entree, where we discuss the latest happening in the world of film, food, pop culture, etc. Now, there's a lot of things that we're going to be getting into today, but I need you guys to do me a small cookie crumb favor, which is like, comment, subscribe to the show, so that way it helps me to help you, and in the end, we both win. Now, last night was a night that I don't think, well, I'm going to say, let me take that back. Don't think that people are not going to forget, which is the Oscars. Now, I watched the Oscars, depending on, what films come out, who's nominated, who's not nominated. And sometimes I don't, because sometimes they have some shows that was a little bit boring. But for some reason, this year's Oscars, this year's show, the vibe was different. It created that vibe that you wanted to be there. And even if you couldn't be there, you wanted to tune in to see what was going to happen. It kind of gave you that vibe like back in the day, like in the 90s when the NBA used to have when the NBA All-Star weekend used to happen. And even if you couldn't actually be at the event, but you wanted to tune in to see what was going to happen, or you at least want to be at the events surrounding the game. So that's how this year's Oscar show was. You had to watch it. And part of the reason why you had to watch it was because it was so many really great films that had came out that you were like, all right, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see how this is going to turn out. And of course, we already know, with Sinners and One Battle After the Next and Timothy Chalamet's film, Marty Supreme, it was so many really good movies that was nominated that everybody wanted to tune in and see how it was going to pan out. Especially with Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan, those was the main two that was fighting for that Best Actor award. That really drew people in to see, okay, let's see how this is going to work. And you had some people that was on standby that was like, hey, if Michael B. Jordan don't win, be prepared for the backlash. And then you have some people that were like, I hope he do win. And I was one of those people that I was rooting for him to win. And it's not because I'm a Michael B. Jordan fan, but it's because when you look at the movie Sinners, there was, like I said, there was a lot of great movies that came out, but for some reason, Sinners just had the full package. They had everything, far as the cinematography, far as the story, far as the music, far as the actors, far as just the whole premise of it went together. That you was just like, it's no way that they should not at least get nominated, or there's no way that they should just walk away without winning anything. And when it was announced that they not only was nominated, but they broke the record for 16 Oscar nominations, it said a lot. A Black director, Black writer, majority Black cast, original story. It just said a lot. Now, some of the people that won at the Oscars, Of course, K-pop and the Demon Hunters, they won. Amy Madigan, she won for weapons. One battle after another, they won for best picture. If I'm not, they won for best director. I think it's best director, best picture, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, guys. Let me pull it up for a second because I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the right information. Here we go. So one battle after another won for best picture. Paul Thomas Anderson, who's a director for one battle, he won for best director. Michael B. Jordan won for best actor. Sean Penn won for best supporting actor. Amy Madigan, she won for best supporting actor as far as weapons. And K-pop and the Demon Hunters won for best animated feature. But the main thing that everybody wanted to check out was the best actor. Because not to take anything away from everybody else who was nominated, but it was all about Charlemagne and Michael B. Jordan. It came down to those two. And from what they said was that the race for it was really, really, really tight. I mean, extremely tight. To the point that everybody was on the edge of their seat when Adrian Brody went up there to announce who was the winner of that award. And I'm proud of Michael B. Jordan because he came a long way. He did what he did. In the movie that Smoking Stack, he put his dues in. And also proud of Timothy Chalamet too, because Timothy Chalamet, he's a really good actor as well. But these are two actors, young actors that's doing a thing that people love. And you left once the show was over with. You left. You had this thing where you wanted to see, and you well not see, but in your mind was like, okay, what are they gonna do next? Now the other part about this is Tiana Taylor. Now, there was some things said about her on the internet. They said she was doing too much. She was being a little bit extra on some things because they saw how, she was clapping and was excited for everybody. And then when they won for best director, best picture, and all this stuff, they were like, okay, she's just doing a little bit too much. She's just this and that. I didn't take it as Tiana Taylor was doing too much. I didn't look at it that way. I look at it like this. She's been putting her dues in the game for a while. And when you are part of a really great project, like one battle after another, and you win all these awards, you get recognized, there's a possibility that you can win the big award, which is the Oscar. So yeah, you excited. Yeah, you happy. And when Amy Madigan beat her in that category, she stood up and clapped for her. And some people like that's a little bit too extra. No, it's called sportsmanship. It's called being a good sport. Because you say, hey, you know what? I didn't win, but this person won. They beat me. Cool. But I'm going to still congratulate them. I'm going to still show my support for them. I'm still going to be happy for them. As to me just being all mad and angry and upset. And then there was the other thing about her with the security officer where she was saying that the security officer, I guess he pushed her, got a little bit physical with her, and she was telling him like, hey, but you don't do that. And some people was like, okay, well, she was doing too much of that. Now, you can't really say because we wasn't there, we don't know what happened. But when it comes to somebody putting their hands on you in a very physical way, then yeah, people are going to say something. And she spoke up and said, hey, yeah, he's putting his hands on me and that's not cool. But overall, people was just trying to make it seem like she was just like, oh, she just, like I said, she was just doing too much. And I did not get that from her. And you saw even during the commercial breaks when they showed some of the footage during the commercial breaks of how they were all interacting with each other, how they was talking to each other, how even at the award show, how when the Oscar winners was taking their pictures and everything, it was more like a big barbecue that everybody came out to have a good time. That's why I said you can just tell with this year's Oscars, it was different. It was not the same as the other Oscar shows. The whole vibe of it. It was just that really positive energy vibe that you knew something special was going to happen. And it did. Now you got some people who did not win no awards, but the fact to be recognized and nominated says a lot. Because now people know who you are. Not saying that they didn't know, but now the industry knows who you are and recognizes you to the point now that you can say, hey, let me use this as fire to keep going and keep making great projects. So my hats and congratulations to all the winners, even the ones who didn't win that you was nominated. Congratulations to you, because everybody did such a great job. And now the question that we all want to know is, what are they going to do next?